Hey, what's going on there, people? So in the last video, we set up our Firebase init file, and we brought it into our app.js, and we were able to see our auth object that was being returned in our app.js file, and we were able to see that auth object in our console. What we're looking for is the current user here with display name, email, and it's showing my previous login credentials because I never logged out. But just ignore that if you will. I want to go ahead and create a user state right now in the app.js file. So user set user equals use state, and that's going to come in from React. You're going to put it in the curly brace. It's a named import or named export. Sorry, and it's going to come from React. And then how do I want to do this? Let's think. Let's create a button here really quick, and we'll say sign in with Google, and then on click we want to sign in with Google, and that's going to come from the Firebase init file. So you'll come up here and do sign in with Google. I have an extension called auto import that does it for me. Alright, and then let's go ahead and go to our app. Let's refresh. We have the sign in with Google button. If you click on it, it's going to open the pop-up. And we're going to get an error that says auth / operation not allowed. And what that means is we need to go to our Firebase Console. And when you're in the Firebase Console, we need to go to this Authentication tab here on the left. Click on sign in method, which you'll probably, let me see if I delete this other user really quick, it'll show what you're, okay, yep, you'll see this. So click on setup sign in method. Go to Google, click enable, and save. You might also get a field that asks for an email verification, an address. It'll just be the same address that you registered for Firebase with. Okay, so now that this is enabled, let's go back, let's refresh, sign in with Google, click our account, take your time, it's okay. I'll refresh the app, and we go to current user. If you haven't previously signed in with the SDK and hadn't previously done this, then you would see null for current user. But what we're getting for current user is the signed in, the credentials that I just signed in with or that you'll sign in with. So I get display name, Michael Cacciano, and my email address. Okay. Now we want to be able to set this user from our local state whenever we sign in, right? So what comes with this auth argument that's returned from Firebase is a method that called onAuthStateChange. And every time the auth state changes, whether it's a sign in or a sign out, it will update the state of the user from Firebase. So we want to put that in a use effect. So let's go ahead and go up here and say use effect. And right here, let's call use effect. And we're going to put an empty array at the end, and we're going to say the auth.onAuthStateChanged, and this will be the authorized user that we get back. So let's say auth user, and then let's just console.log auth user. I spelled that wrong. Okay, and we'll get rid of that one and just see what that comes up with really quick. Auth user, and we get the display name, and we get the email, and everything that was in that current user. That's what we get from this auth user here. And so we want to say, just to make sure, we do some defensive coding here, because this will return null if there's nobody signed in. So if auth user, then we want to set user as, and we don't want to pass the whole thing because we don't need it. So let's actually destructure and say const display name and email equals auth user. And let's set user with display name and email. Okay. And then just to show that we have it, let's go down here, and instead of saying app in this H1, we'll say welcome user. And in here, we'll actually just make this null, which means when we go down here, we will do user, oops, I already typed it, pause, user dot display name. Because we're starting it as null, we have to check for it, so user and user dot display name. And there we go. And that's coming from that auth object that's coming from Google. Let's see, what do we want to do with this? So I think we're going to call it right here, and in the next video what we'll do is create the routes with the protected route, and then we'll pass this auth user into the protected route. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you in the next video.